Hello students, welcome back to on the channel Media Pathshala. Today is the subject related to Fybcom, Fybms, Fybaf and Fybbi. So all these different courses, degrees have a common subject called as business communication. It's a theory subject, of course, and because it is taught to almost all the subjects, all the degrees, you should realize the importance of it. To start with, we will be learning about the essence of communication, what exactly is communication. Then we will be talking about the process of it and the need and importance. And later on, we'll understand what exactly a business is. Let's start with the essence of communication. What exactly is communication? It is the lifeblood of our interactions. Every human being communicates. Every human being expresses, shares information, expresses ideas on the base of communication. If there was no such thing as communication, it would have been very difficult for us to express ourselves, right? So communication is the lifeblood of our interactions, the bridge that connects us across cultures, ideas and emotions. It is the act of sharing information, thoughts and feelings, and the foundation of building relationships, understanding and progress. It is important that communication helps you share information. It helps you share thoughts and feelings. And communication can become a foundation of building any kinds of relationships of understanding and progress. Whether it is a simple conversation with a loved one or a complex negotiation in a business setting, communication is a fundamental human activity that shapes our life and the world around us. Even if it is a complex negotiation or a normal conversation with anybody that you know, communication plays a vital role. Definition क्या है communication का? तो 3 parts it is divided into: transfer of information, mutual understanding, shared meaning. Communication helps you transfer information. Information किससे किसको transfer करनी है? From one person to another. Communication is the process of conveying information, ideas or feelings from one person to another. It can be verbal, non-verbal or written and involves both a sender and a receiver. So a message or a communication has 3 basic types, that is verbal. Verbal is oral communication. Okay, right now we are doing oral communication. So when somebody talks to you, where words are used in speaking, okay, orally जब words use किए जाते हैं उसे कहते हैं verbal communication. What is non-verbal communication? Communication that involves actions, gestures, body language, signs and symbols. It is called as non-verbal communication and written communication. So इसमें ये 3 types of communication बताए गए हैं and it involves both sender and a receiver. Communication का कोई भी format हो, there is a sender, there is a receiver. A message is sent by a sender to the receiver. Okay. Mutual understanding. Beyond simply sending a message, effective communication requires mutual understanding between the sender and the receiver. This means that both parties should be able to interpret the message accurately and in an intended way. When there is communication, it is important that both the parties, who are those parties? The sender and the receiver, both should actually understand what is being communicated. Sending a message simply is not a big task. Understanding the message is a big task. And when the message is understood by both the parties properly, then it is called as a mutual understanding. Okay. This means that both parties should be able to interpret the message. जो सेंडर ने मैसेज भेजा है रिसीवर को, वो रिसीवर को समझ में आना चाहिए. रिसीवर ने जो फीडबैक भेजा है सेंडर को, वो सेंडर को समझ में आना चाहिए. ठीक है. And this is what is called as mutual understanding. If there is no mutual understanding, there are different problems or you can say barriers that can be created. जैसे कि conflict होना, misunderstandings होना, right? Then shared meaning. Successful communication involves creating shared meaning between the participants. This means both parties should be able to understand each other's perspective, intentions, and motivation. There are times where there are a lot of misunderstandings created. Why? Because we cannot understand what the sender is trying to say. We kind of misunderstand or misinterpret the message that is being sent. So ऐसे टाइम पे सेंडर को भी मैसेज भेजते वक्त रिसीवर की कैपेबिलिटी को समझना है एंड रिसीवर को भी मैसेज का फीडबैक देते वक्त सेंडर की कैपेबिलिटी को समझना है. ईच अदर्स पर्सपेक्टिव शुड बी अंडरस्टूड. वो मैसेज कौन से इंटेंशन से भेजा है, क्या मोटिवेशन से भेजा है, किस पर्सपेक्टिव से भेजा है, ये समझना जरूरी है. ओके, what is the importance of communication? In business, communication plays a vital role. बिजनेस में बहुत सारी चीजें आती है. एक सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस कंडक्ट करने के लिए देयर इज नॉट वन और टू थिंग्स इन्वॉल्व. देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स दैट हेल्प अ बिजनेस ग्रो एंड फ्लरिश. One of it and one of the most important of it is communication. The way you talk to your clients, the way you treat your employees, the way you consider your consumers, your people who are related to your business, the way you create bondings and relationships with them plays a very important role in your business success. So first point here is building relations. Communication is essential for building and maintaining relations. In our personal relations, there are so many misunderstandings that happen because maybe we are not communicating properly. Similarly, in a business, there might be a chance where there are a lot of conflicts or a lot of misunderstandings that can happen. And that is why communication plays a very important role in maintaining relations. किसके साथ relations maintain करने हैं? तो हमारे stakeholders के साथ. Now, who are stakeholders? Your people who are related to your business. ऐसे लोग जो आपके बिजनेस से कहीं ना कहीं जुड़े हुए हैं. योर कंज्यूमर्स, योर एम्प्लॉयज, सप्लायर्स, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, योर कॉम्पिटिटर्स ऑल्सो प्ले एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल. देन देर इज द गवर्नमेंट, देन देर इज द मीडिया. Nowadays media is also very important. You have to deal with media in a very well mannered way. ओके, सो ये सारे लोग इन्वेस्टर्स हो गए आपके. तो ये सारे लोग आपके बिजनेस से कहीं ना कहीं जुड़े हुए हैं. so, इन सब से बेहतर रिलेशन बनाए रखना ये हर कंपनी की क्या है, जिम्मेदारी है. इससे क्या होगा, समवेयर और द अदर दीज पीपल आर हेल्पिंग आवर बिजनेस, राइट. एंड इनका जो फीडबैक है हमारी कंपनी के लिए, इट प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल because these people are going to talk about your company outside. These people are going to speak either positive or negative about your company outside, in the outside market or in the outside world. So building relations with them is very, very important. For example, if you are not keeping up with your employees, the people who are working for you, if you're not keeping up with them, for example, if you're not giving good facilities to your employees, you're not giving timely increments to your employees, you're bombarding them with a lot of work pressure. So all of these things can actually hamper their productivity and they will feel lost. They won't feel like coming to the office. So these things play an important role where you have to understand what employees exactly want. What are their ideas? They should also feel that they are a part of this company. So you should not become a dictator but a leader. So a leader should always have good communication. And that is how it is going to help you in building relations. Second example is with your consumers. For example, if your consumer is giving you some kind of a feedback about your product or your service and it is negative, it is important to consider those negative points and make sure that you improve those points rather than just ignoring that consumer. What happens when you actually consider their points? They think that your company is genuine. If you politely communicate your drawbacks to the consumers, they are going to happily accept it. Okay, so building relations, to build good relations with all these people, communication plays a important role. Then there is solving problems. Every problem can be solved only and only when you communicate properly. If there are some kind of conflicts between the employees, if you communicate them well, they are going to be solved. Effective communication is crucial for resolving conflicts and finding solutions to the problems. It enables us to share information, express concern, and work together to find mutually agreeable, this is very important, mutually agreeable outcomes. Both the parties should be happy with the conclusion. And that is when we can say the problem is solved. If one party is not happy and the other one is happy, that is not how mutual understandings work. That is not what is called as effective communication. What is effective communication? When the sender and the receiver both agree on certain terms. When there is a sender, there is a receiver. Sender sends the message, receiver receives the message. Simple. Okay. When the sender sends the message, receiver understands it and in return gives feedback. ओके फीडबैक जब वो देता है वो फीडबैक आइदर पॉजिटिव हो सकता है या फिर नेगेटिव हो सकता है. Irrespective of whatever the feedback is, the sender needs to accept it and make changes accordingly. When the sender accepts these things and then changes the any changes that are required, all of this is done only and only then can you call it as an effective communication. Okay. Sharing knowledge. Next point is sharing of knowledge. Communication helps in sharing of knowledge and ideas. For example, if in a meeting there are your employees are sitting, you are sitting as a head of the company and you are trying to distribute some kind of work, or you are discussing a particular strategy or a plan of your company, and you do not allow your employees to speak. You do not allow your employees to express their ideas. They are also good enough, they can also share some ideas. If you don't allow them that, they will feel left out in the company. They won't feel that this company belongs to them, right? So communication plays a vital role in transfer of knowledge. It allows us to learn from others. We have to accept the fact that communication works both ways and not just one way. One-way communication doesn't go a long way. Two-way communication helps to resolve many things. And when two-way communication is there, there is sharing of knowledge. So it is important that we have two-way communication and then learn from others, share our expertise and contribute to collective understanding of the world. Fourth point is personal and professional growth. Communication helps you in personal growth as well as professional. Strong communication, essential for personal and professional growth. They enable us to express ourselves clearly. If you communicate well, you can express yourself clearly. You can build trust among the. If you don't consider the feedbacks of your consumers because they are negative, you're not ready to hear anything negative about your business or your organization or your product. Okay, then what will happen? The consumers will lose trust in you. Okay, because they will think these guys are not listening to our feedback. So they will have a bad impression in the minds about your product. So it is important that for the professional growth, you have to have clear cut understanding of the needs of the consumers, of the needs of the employees, or irrespective of whoever is there in front of you. So clear understanding, building trust, and navigating the complexities. Complexities are problems. What different problems can be faced? Okay, so all these things are important as far as communication is concerned. So basic process of communication. Okay, the process of communication is very simple to understand. There is a sender, there is a message, there is a channel. The message is sent via a channel. And then there is a receiver and then there is a feedback. So this is a basic process of communication. The sender is the person who initiates the communication process. For example, I am the sender, you are the receiver. I am sending you some kinds of messages. I am sending you some kind of knowledge about the topic. In return, on basis of comments, likes, shares on the YouTube, you are going to give me some kind of response as a receiver or a feedback. Right? So the sender is a person who initiates the communication. They formulate the message. I have formulated an information piece. I have formulated this PPT for you guys. Okay, so I am formulating the message, encoding it into the form that can be understood by the receiver. The way I explain should be understood by the receiver. If I use heavy language, heavy English language, big words, it is not possible for you to understand. So it is important that I have to understand the needs of the receiver. Who is at the end of the tunnel with me? Who is my receiver? I have to understand the capability of that particular receiver, and message should be framed accordingly. And then it should be transmitted to the receiver. Second is the message. What is the message? It is a piece of information, idea or feeling that can be conveyed. It can be either verbal, as we studied before. It should be verbal, non-verbal or written. And it should be clear, concise and relevant. It should have clarity, accuracy and it should be relevant to the topic. Okay, then there is the channel. How are you exactly going to send this message? There should be some kind of a channel, right? The channel is the medium through which the message is transmitted. This could be either verbal, written, or non-verbal, such as body language or gestures. So channel is something, for example, you are talking on the phone. So your telephone is your channel. You're talking via WhatsApp, a social media platform. It is a channel. You're talking via email. You're talking via letter. All these are different mediums, you can say, or channels that help you send the message to the receiver. Now, who is the receiver? The receiver is the person who receives the message. It's but obvious. They decode the message. Sender ने क्या किया था? Message को encode किया था. और receiver क्या करने वाला है? उसको decode करने वाला है. So decoding the message and interpreting its meaning based on their own understanding. जो सेंडर ने जो मैसेज भेजा है उसको रिसीवर अपने हिसाब से, अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से क्या करने वाला है? इंटरप्रेट करने वाला है, समझने की कोशिश करने वाला है, ठीक है? एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड कल्चर. एंड द लास्ट पार्ट इज feedback. If there is no feedback, the communication is half. The communication is incomplete. It cannot be called as effective. Okay, so feedback plays an important role in communication. Right? So feedback is the receiver's response. Receiver ने message तो consume कर लिया, but अब उसको कुछ response करना पड़ेगा ना, whether the message is understood or not, whether it is acceptable to the receiver or not, XYZ जो भी चीजें हैं, तो feedback जरूरी है. It's the receiver's response to the message. It allows the sender to know that the message was received. Receiver जब feedback देता है sender को, तो sender को समझ में आता है कि हाँ भाई receiver को message मिल गया है. And it provides an opportunity to clarification and adjustment. So sender ने जब message भेजा है receiver को, तो receiver जब इसको reply करता है, तो sender को समझ में आता है कि receiver को message मिल गया है. और अगर उसको receiver को message नहीं समझा है, तो वो वैसे बोलेगा कि I have not understood the message. Right? Very simple. This is the most important process of communication. Rather, it is the only process of communication which revolves around all the other things. Okay. For now, this is enough. In the next lecture, we will be learning about needs and scope and feedback. Right? I hope you all are understanding the lectures. I hope you all are trying to, understand it. And if you have any doubts, you can always drop them in the comment section and I will address them. Thank you so much for listening. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.